Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. In this video, I will be showing you how to draw this figure. As far as has been practiced, the first thing to do is to peruse the drawing, analyze the drawing, and try to break it up into rectangles, squares, circle, triangles, and multi-line. Here, this is a combination of, we have one rectangle here, and a second rectangle here. It's formed here, and a third rectangle here. So this is one rectangle. For this, I will be using division of line to break this up into the 6 different dials. And of course, to be using text to enter those numbers in it. Here we have a circle, a square within a circle on both sides, and of course our fillet. Yeah, remember now, guys, for this drawing we would use basic setting. So the first thing to do would be to set up your drawing space, and of course you should remember the 7 basic things that we set up. The first thing we set up is our template. So we choose our drawing template, and to do that we left click here. It's a 4-step process. Left click here, go to new. We can then choose a template, or you can click AutoCAD ISO, then open. The next thing to do, the second step, the second thing to do is to turn off your grid. To turn on and off your grid, we go down here. The third thing to do is to check your units. Your unit should be in millimeters. However, it's worth mentioning that the unit for AutoCAD ISO is already in millimeters. Yeah, but you could check. The next thing you want to do is to set up your drawing limit. And of course, your drawing limit is relative to the size of the drawing. Here we have some recommended limits. And for plane and solid geometry, the limit should be 200 by 200. It's important, we should remember that the lower limit is always 0,0. Yeah, upper right is what we really set. It should be what we wanted overall length and width to be. Of great importance, setting your limit value is useless if you do not bring that limit onto the screen. So remember now that you must type Z enter key followed by A enter key or zoom all. Very important. And just in case you forget your layers, these are the basic layer setting that you will need. Yeah. And for dimension, for your dimension setting, this is a basic dimension setting. On the line, you will change extend beyond dimension line and offset only. For arrow size, we would let that be between 4 to 5 is good. Text height can be the same. Yeah. Let's get started. So the first thing to do is to ensure that I'm in my construction layer. Left click there, go down to construction. That is now active. My next step is to draw a rectangle 50 by this is 60 plus 40, 100. Now guys, it is important that when you dimension in your figure, you have an overall dimension for the length and the width. Very important. Yeah. MA enter, match property. Left click here, left click that. That now changes to that. So my first step here is to draw a rectangle which is 100 by 50 to get this part. REC for rectangle, enter. Left click here, drag, add sign, 100 tab, 50, enter. And I should remind you that to change from your X to Y on the dynamic input, we can use either the comma or the tab key. Yeah, so the tab key helps you to toggle between the X and the Y value and back and forth. It is also useful when you're drawing lines at an angle. It's very important. Now that we have done that, our next step is to draw this rectangle down here. This one is 40 by 20. Spacebar to reactivate rectangle. Left click here, add, and I go 40, 40, comma 20, 20, enter. That is done. My next step is to left click M for move, enter, and I'm choosing here as my base point. So I left click here and I left click where I want my base point to match. That is now done. I could trim the inner part here if I want. TR, enter, enter, left click, drag. That's now done. Escape. Now this, I could draw this rectangle here as well. This rectangle is 40 by 10. So I type REC for rectangle, enter, left click, my at sign, 40, comma 10, enter. I then left click this, type M for move, enter. It says specify the base point. I will left click here to specify where I want my base point to be, and I will left click here to paste it there. That's pretty much done. Next, I want to explode this. So I left click, then type X for explode, followed by the enter key. This is now broken up into separate lines. My next step is to divide this into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts. So for that, I type div for divide, enter. Excuse me. Then left click onto the line to be divided. Now, the command bar is asking me to enter the number of segments. For this, I want 6 segments or 6 parts. So 6 followed by the enter key. That is done. Now, just in case you divide this line and you haven't seen anything, the thing is that your nodes, your point type was not set. So to see this, to make these visible or to change them, type P type, P T Y P E, enter. That will bring this up. You can then change from whatever you want it to be. So in most cases, the dots or the points is the default setting. So you will need to change from that to something else, which is good. The next thing to do is to come down here and click onto this. What that does, that prevents the nodes from being enlarged. If you do not click that, when you zoom that drawing out and then reduce it, in some instances it might not reduce. So you might end up with some large nodes. Yeah. So that's the importance of that. The next thing, in order to be able to snap onto these nodes, you must ensure that nodes is turned on. To ensure that nodes is turned on, type OSNAP. OSNAP, 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 enter. Then check to ensure that this is turned on. Once that is done, you're good to go. Now, my next step is to copy this. Left click on that and type copy, CO, enter. It now says specify a base point. My base point is the point that I intend to match onto some other point. So in this case, I left click here, left click there, left click there, left click there, left click here. left click here, then escape. That part is done. Now, my next step would be to add my text into these. Before I do that, I should change to my text layer. So it's important again that you set up different layers for different part of a drawing. I then type text, enter, or I could go up to text, choose single line, and continue. Same thing work. The command bar asks me to specify my start point. I left click here, text height of 8 is selected, enter, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then click outside, then escape. Very important. So I want to get these a little bit more organized. So let this stay for now. A little trick that you could use to ensure that all of them are properly aligned is to create only one, then copy and paste it using this corner here. Copy, use here as a base point, and then click here, click there, click, click, click to get all of them at the same level and with some consistency. But this is good for now. Escape. Now that is done, my next step is I could establish my fillets. I could type F for fillet. No, I need to change my text layer, my construction layer. F for fillet, followed by the enter key. Type R to change fillet radius. In this case, I want a fillet radius of 5. Fillet radius of 5. So type 5, enter. I then left click on the first one, space bar, click on multiple, and touch here, touch there, touch, touch, touch there, touch here as well, here, there, and there, and there, and then that is it. So those have been filleted. The next step is to establish the center for this. This seems to be right in the middle of this right here, this one right here. So I could use a circle or a line, left click here, up. Let me use a line. Well, circle works as well. Line, enter. Turn on auto mode. Up 20, 2, 0, enter, enter. That is done. And to get this is 25 up by 16 in. Yeah, 25 up by 16 in. Alright. So 16 line. So here is my start point, or I should use circle, C for circle, enter. When it says specify the base point, I just try track out to here. In this case, it would have been good to leave the fillet for last. Let this be 25, 25, enter. Then use a line. Or I could offset this up by 25 and then draw a line out. Yeah, I could do that as well. Then go out here, 16, 1, 6, enter, enter. That now is our center. You should realize by now that I love to use circles. I love to use circles. Now that the center has been established, my next step is to draw the circle which has a radius of 10. So C for circle, enter. Left click to specify the radius. Then type 10, enter for the radius. Now that is done, I can now change to my outline layer, and then use polyline. And I will be taking advantage of my quadrant. I'll left click there, left click here, left click here, left click there, then C, enter for close. That is done. C for circle, left click here. That again seems to be a radius of 10. 10, enter. My next step is to mirror this on this side. So I'll left click on this, type MI for mirror, followed by the enter key. The command bar will then ask me to specify the mirror line. In this case, this is symmetrical, so I want the mirror line to be right in the middle. Enter. And that is now that. That is that. My next step is to change to my outline. Left click and drag. Left click, drag to the left. Whatever is touched is highlighted. Then go to my outline layer. That is that. And there we have it. We now have that. Yeah. We could add our center mark to this. Oh, there should be a circle around this as well. CO, enter. Left click here, left click there. Use match property to change that. Match property and A, enter. Left click on the source, touch that, and touch that. That is now changed. My next step is to change to my dimension layer and go to annotate. Click annotate up here. Then click on the center mark. Then touch the circumference here, circumference there, and circumference here. Escape. Now that is done, the final stage would be to dimension this. To dimension, I left click here, and from here, left click there, have that. Then I'll be using continuous. With continuous, I simply click here, click there, then escape. That is done. To do this side, we do it in like manner. I'll do the same thing. So I'll click on this first, left click here, drag this up, then click continuous, then touch this and that and enter. That is now done. Click on this linear, then click here and click here to get that. That's 25 spacebar to reactivate. I then click here and go down to here and drag this out. And then we go up. It's important that you add an overall dimension for this. So I click on linear, I go here, go up to here, then drag up. That is there. My next step is to fill it to add dimension these, but I will not be getting into that because by now you should know how to do your dimensioning. Yeah. So again, guys, remember, you don't need to be good to practice, but you must practice to be good. And it is important that you watch good videos. Videos that shows you the quickest and most efficient ways of doing things. Yes, very important. In AutoCAD, there are many different ways of doing things, but there are some good ways of doing it, or better ways of doing things. I think these videos are some really good ways of doing things. Alright, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Please leave your comments. If there is anything that you'd like me to cover, please don't hesitate to comment, alright?